so thrilled, as we're talking about this very topic, to have Jayda Raspberry come sit right next to me here on the mic. Jayda Raspberry is a formerly incarcerated activist and social commentator from Los Angeles. In 2006, Jayda was sentenced to Valley State Prison for Women, where she would spend 6 years of her life. Since her release in 2012, she has been to Sacramento to speak on many topics, including medical negligence and reducing the prison population with community-based alternatives. In 2014, she became an organizer with that great Dignity and Power Now, where she has led leadership workshops, fought against jail construction, and been featured in several viral videos, including #MeToo for incarcerated women and her new talk show, Grassroots with Jayda. As a formerly incarcerated person and a queer woman of color, Jayda believes that it is important to be a voice of change in directly impacted communities. She has lived the harsh realities of what happens behind the walls of prison and strongly believes that it is her duty, it is our duty, to fight and to be a voice for people who are incarcerated. Greetings, Jayda.
Greetings. Thank you for having me.
In spite of the existence and the efforts of 45 and his administration, we still push it forward,
yes,
right?
We are.
We're still doing the work.
Yes, we are.
We are still focused on ending mass incarceration.
Yes, we are.
And on supporting those formerly incarcerated folks and their families.
Yes.
So pleased to have you here.
Pleased to be here.
Before we get too far in, who is Dignity and Power Now?
Okay, so Dignity and Power Now is a grassroots organization who fights to end mass incarceration and restore dignity in formerly incarcerated people, their loved ones, in our communities. We center Black and brown folks and LGBTQ people because we know that those are the ones mainly affected by police and sheriff violence, and we also know that we're the folks who are who take up the majority of the beds in the county jails and in the prisons. So we fight to, change policy and bring, justice to our folks who's inside who aren't, receiving the proper care that they need, who aren't getting justice.
That's right. Until abolition comes.
Yes, until abolition. That's what I'm talking about.
Until abolition comes.
Yes.
Now, I know that Dignity and Power Now has a lot going on.
Yes.
You are all up in all that it has going on.
Yes,
But I wanted folks to be able to know what kind of work Dignity and Power is doing right now. We got to keep our Sappho listeners, because there's so many things to distract you with in the news and outside of the news. We want to keep our Sappho listeners in the loop about what folks are doing locally, which has national and international effects with regard to this issue of mass incarceration. So tell us, what kinds of programs or projects is Dignity and Power Now working on? For example, I know that there is a Freedom Harvest. Let our listeners know, what is Freedom Harvest?
Okay, so Freedom Harvest is a health and wellness space. So first off, Dignity and Power Now, we operate off of 3 pillars, right? We operate off of abolition, transformative justice, and healing justice. So Freedom Harvest is a healing justice event that we host in front of the county jails, where we basically take over this space with all this, with healing, right? So we know when you're going inside to visit your loved one, it's stressful, right? You're dealing with the sheriffs, you're dealing with, everything that your loved one's telling you is happening with them in there, and it's hard. So we've created a safe space, for loved ones who are going inside of the jail. There's acupuncturists out who gives acupuncture to people. There are people who are doing Reiki, massage, foot soaks. There's stuff there for the kids. We send in postcards for loved ones for free for the family members. It's really just a space where we get to take it over because, the sheriffs, and that is just a really tense space. And so we just make it less tense for the families going inside the jails.
So important. I don't know how many people have visited someone in county jail or visited someone in prison. You feel like you in county jail. Yeah. You feel like you're in prison.
You do.
The energy that is given to you by the sheriffs, the energy that you have that just from the space, the physical space itself is one that makes you feel caged, makes you feel like that, you are restricted. And so having something like that is such a beautiful thing. I know the sheriffs at some point were bucking up against it. We had to get some justice warriors for Black Lives folks out there.
Yes, we did. But guess what? That ain't stopped nothing, because we're still out there, and we're going to continue to be out there, and we're going to be out there in the Antelope Valley this Saturday.
That's right.
Yeah. So nothing, they ain't stopping nothing.
What time this Saturday and where?
So it's going to be in Antelope Valley. I would like for folks to go to our Dignity and Power Now page and check out the events. The time is on there. The address is on there. And please show up. It's going to be really, really great. There's going to be some really cute little care packages for folks. It's going to be really, really cool.
Oh, excellent. Nice. No, it's important because, again, they try to make people not want to go,
exactly.
right? So this helps people to want to go. Now, we see that 45 and his administration, headed by Jim Crow Jeff Sessions, as I call him. It's one word, Jim Crow Jeff Sessions, that are really trying to push back against all the strides that we as organizers and activists have made with respect to mass incarceration. So they're like, what? Abolition? Right. We want longer mandatory sentences.
No.
This fool talking about kill drug dealers, death penalty for drug dealers, right? And we know when he says drug dealers, he's talking about black and brown folks.
Exactly.
That's who he's referring to. And so as that is happening and we're trying to push back against that, we also need to think about the family members, right?
Yes.
Because this is not just traumatizing for people that are finding themselves in these cages,
right?
But it's traumatizing to see your folks in cages and to hear that someone is saying that, hey, maybe your folks should be up for the death penalty, or that people, because remember, Jeff Sessions, Jim Crow, he said how you're going to identify the drug dealers is they're going to be wearing big gold chains. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And they're going to, so you're not even going to be looking for drug deals.
Right.
You're just going to look for the outfit.
Right. Just look for the outfit.
And that's going to be enough for you to now have a death penalty sentence. So aside from the Freedom Harvest, which is very important, what other work do you do that deals directly with family members as well?
So, one of the programs that we have that deals, not all of our programming actually involves family members, right?
Okay,
so
great.
we specifically focus on formerly incarcerated people. So there's one program that I was running called Forever Rooted, which is a program led by myself and another organizer who's also formerly incarcerated, where it's for formerly incarcerated people. It's a program where we move through trauma through storytelling, right? So as you know, like when you come home, it's hard, right? It's really, really hard. And you deal with a lot of stuff, right? I'm just going to say stuff because it's just all type of stuff, right?
That's right.
It's just all
and we is on the radio, Jayda,
yes.
so stuff is good.
Yes, okay. Okay, cool. So stuff, right? Oh, I'm glad I didn't say nothing else, okay? So it's a lot of stuff that you deal with. And so Forever Rooted is a space that was created, by Dignity and Power Now. And we believe in the safety of our community. We believe in the safety of our people. And there's not a lot of safe spaces for folks coming home. And it's really interesting. This is a place where people can share. We operate off of generative somatics. It's really healing. It's a healing program. And people at the end of it all, they recognize like, oh, this is my listening block. Oh, this is, something that stopped me from doing this. Or, oh, this is what I've recognized about myself. And this is what I can move through by using this tool. We do a lot of reimagining our communities, without policing. It's a really cool program. And I'm asking folks out there, if you know anybody who's formerly incarcerated or who is just coming home, please direct them to our Dignity and Power Now page. Have them message us and we will get them connected with this program. It's really, really good.
It sounds fabulous. I have not been incarcerated except for that one time when I was held in contempt by a judge because he made a comment about my African clothes that I was wearing.
Really?
And so, yes, we had to have a conversation.
Yeah,
and at the end, he told me that I had a lot of for a woman, and I told him I rent them out. And so that led us to be directed to go into what? But luckily he took it back. He yelled at me and was like, "You're going to jail." And then he was like, "No, you're not going to jail anymore."
Okay.
But that sounds like something we all need as black folks going through trauma.
Yes.
That is something that definitely telling our stories, being able to be in a safe place to tell our stories, to hear ourselves and to hear others is healing all the way around. So that's wonderful, wonderful work. You're listening to Conversations on the Way, the Asafo edition with your host, Nana Gyamfi, and we are speaking with the Madame, the fabulous Jayda Raspberry, activist, organizer, and TV show host with Dignity and Power Now. And that's what I want to go to next. This is a new Dignity and Power Now project that I'm really excited about. Got to see the first episode and it was fabulous. Grassroots with Jayda.
Yes.
So tell us first, what is Grassroots with Jayda?
So Grassroots with Jayda is basically a platform that was created by the organization Dignity and Power Now, and and it's produced by myself and Shannon Soper, our media director. It's basically a platform where we talk about real topics and real things, and we talk about it. I'm going to talk about them unapologetically because they're happening and it's real, and somebody has to put the real information out there for our communities. So I'll be talking about abolition, Black liberation, the prison industrial complex. I have Patrice on as my first guest. That was such a fun interview. I had so much fun interviewing her.
It was fun to watch.
Yes, it was really good. I'm going to have some local movement makers on there. I'm going to have other activists and organizers on. I'm going to have some celebrity guests on there. So it's going to be really cool. At the end of the month, I'm filming the second episode, which will talk about medical neglect and the healthcare stuff that's happening inside the jail. So it's going to be really, really good. I'm also going to have a Mother's Day special that's going to happen
nice.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. So I'm really, really happy. I'm really, really excited about it. I was nervous at first, but I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And I'm so excited. I just have to get into it, but it's just it's so good. It's so good.
What I loved about it, in terms, not just your energy and your presence, but the topics that are being discussed, right? Because KPFK is a place where grassroots folks can come and talk about grassroots things, right?
Yes.
But we also have to reach folks that are the visual people.
Yes.
Right? And KPFK, at some point we may end up having cameras everywhere and have our KPFK TV. But as of right now, we on the radio, right? And so for some people, the visual is what grabs their attention. And so to have your show is really helpful to those people who are, when I turn on KPFK, my son tries to be like, okay, Mom, are you going to listen to KPFK all day? He's like, are you old? I'm like, yeah, it's because you're 22.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You have to listen to beats and rhymes. There's shows for you on here too.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Everything is not right. But he likes visual.
Right.
Like I told him, you just like visual. You're just a visual person, right?
Yes.
Because there's other people your age that are on KPFK, that are listening to KPFK. You're just a visual person.
That's true.
So I think it's good for us to mix that up, right? And to add that piece and that part to it. Before I go to my next question, tell us, how do we get in touch with Dignity and Power Now? You've talked about a page, but how do people get to that page? What are your Twitter handles, etc.?
Right.
Lay that on us.
Okay, yeah. So we are on Facebook. You can go to our Facebook page, Dignity and Power Now, and you can click on, events. You can see videos. You can see the first episode of Grassroots with Jayda, but also subscribe to our Dignity and Power Now YouTube channel. Okay, subscribe to that channel. You'll see all the videos. All of the Grassroots with Jayda will be on YouTube. So please, please, please subscribe to there. We also have our Instagram page, which is at Dignity and Power Now, and we're on Twitter at Dignity and Power Now as well. Yes. So, yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, last thing before we go, what are you hoping the show in particular will accomplish?
Okay, I hope the show will open up people's eyes to the other side, right? Because, I'm a formerly incarcerated Black woman, and, I have this show, I have a platform where I can share and where I can help, where I can be the voice for the voiceless. And that's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm hoping that I can bring attention to more issues surrounding formerly women who are incarcerated. There's a lot of women's issues happening right now around CIW and, a lot of stuff with the women's issues. And I just really want people to know that there's more out there than just, your regular famous people or whoever getting assaulted or getting abused. We're getting abused too, at a very, very fast rate. We're dying. So, I just want people to know that this is going to be a platform where we discuss all of that.
Excellent. Well, I'm very excited about the show, as you know.
Yes.
Super excited about the show.
Thank you.
And I hope that Dignity and Power Now continues to be supported, continues to do the work that it's doing. Thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you.